welcome back to the video. So this will be the video on how to set up a regular, a tab bar in iOS development. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and click on a create new project, single view app, and we'll call it, I'll call it iOS nav bar. I'll keep all this information the same for now for what I'm working on and just hit next. I am not going to click on this because I want to be able to upload it if I need to. So let's do sandbox, iOS, and I'll create a new folder and I'll call it nav bar and hit create. Excellent. So we got that going. Just give me a second here. So let's go. It might seem a little kind of crazy because I'm going to move a little fast. We've already gone through this once. So main storyboard, I'm going to start with, I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to click on it, delete. All right, so I'm going to go up here and I am going to add a tab bar. Oops. Tab bar controller. So just click it right here. Close it down. We need to zoom out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. It's not too far out. All right, so, oopsie daisy. So I'm just going to grab this and move this down here and move this guy right here and try to add some space here. There we go. And there we go. I'll space up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Wanted to give you somewhat of an idea, but it zoomed in too far. All right, nonetheless, so these guys are connected and that's what we want. So now we're going to add two view controllers. View controller. And now we have to think about what we're adding to our screens. So this will give us a couple pages. So each of these tabs, like this is tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and so forth. So we have to think about what we want to accomplish. We want to have 5 tabs, okay? So I'm going to add another view tab controller. So I'm going to just put it here for now. I'll put it right here for now. All right, perfect. So we got 2 of these guys, we got a view controller. So now what we want to do is connect the tab controller to this view controller. So you guys remember how to do that. So I'm going to zoom up here a little bit so we get a bigger window. And I'm going to click on the tab controller right here. And I'm just going to, I got to do control on the keyboard. And then it brings this arrow down here and I click this. So remember, in this case right here, when you're connecting this environment to a view controller, you want to choose relationship segue and choose view controller. So now it connects to that. Okay. There we go. Move this up a little bit. Perfect. All we need to do is do the navigation controller that we need here, because this is what we're going to have. We're going to have these 3 guys, and then we're going to create another one that goes to another page and goes back. This is just an example, whether we have to do it or not for the app, but I want to show you how it's done. So I'm going to get up at the top here, click on editor, embed in, choose navigation controller. It automatically adds that to the environment. You see that right there? There we go, perfect. So now as you see here, we have our tab bar controller. We have our item 1, 2, and 3. We have our navigation controller, and then this over here. So let's, one thing is, this is a problem that you'll have where it won't work. One of our students, I think it was Sammy's having a problem, his is black, because this wasn't selected to his initial view controller. So you have to tell Xcode what you want to be your initial screen. So choose that right there. That makes that the initial one. And let's go ahead and change some background color so we can tell the difference for the time being. I know that we'll have a more control environment with the way that Emily has it set up. But for now, let's just change something around, make it orange. I'll make this one blue. I'll make this one, let's see here. This one I'll make this color here. And this one right here, I'll go with purple for the Lakers. Boom, maybe. Why not choose it? Oh, 10. Perfect. All right, so now we have all these environments here. We have our is initial, is band, is the initial view. We have this. So let's again run it real quick, see what we get. Okay, there we go. Just took a second. All right, so, oops, I'm trying to move this guy around. Listen. I don't know why it's not moving around. Anyways, so let's go back. There we go. So we have our item number 1, 2, which is this guy right here. Because what it does is, this is giving me a problem moving around for some. Okay, get the control and move it. So as you see here, our initial one is our tab controller. So when I click on that, that's our initial view. But what it happens is it starts right here. Item number 1, item number 2, item number 3, and then our navigation control. The only time you have a navigation controller is if you want to go to a second page, a third page. So let's say, for example, we wanted to set up the linens page where instead of everything being on one page, maybe we want to have multiple pages, for example, then we would set up a navigation controller. But for right now, item number 2, if I hit 3, it'll be purple. So what we need to do here is we need to create a button so that it'll go up to this navigation control, and that's what we'll do next. But this is a good start though, so hopefully you get to this point. Guys, you know why this didn't work is we didn't add this across from here yet. Before we do that, I just thought of something else. So let's do this real quick. So zoom in here. Just click this guy right here, pull him over here, and choose View Controller. Now if we run it, let's stop it. It should work now. All right, see we got item 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this guy right here. But just to show you something I was thinking of, let's say that we didn't want to do navigation controller for some reason. We could come down here and just show you what we're doing, just to give you guys ideas. We come down here and add another view controller. Right there. Yep. Come on. Right there. And then what we could do is, let's say we change his background real quick to something else. Oops. And let's go with green. And move it right here. So if we take the tab bar controller at the top here, control, and come down like this, and then we would do view controller for our segue. And now if we run, we should have 4 tabs. We don't even have these guys connected yet. So look, we have item number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we have to think about the design of our app. We might not need a navigation controller in our app, and I'm showing you why not. But this purpose right here, our app would work perfectly fine for this because that's all we're looking to do. But we have to add a 5th one. Now we could do this. Now let's see what I do right here. If I, oops, let me stop this real quick. If I come up here, control, click over here, and do view controller, because what we're doing here is just adding a navigation controller, which just adds if we want to go to that. So now let's say we run it. But what we're trying to do with our application, we don't see, we have a 5th item here now. See item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This navigation is only if you're going to have multiple things. So in this case, so think about this. I want to pull up that design, so give me a second here. Find the design. Bear with me for a second. At this design right here. Let me think. I can't see. Maybe linen request. FAQ. Maybe that would be something potentially. If we didn't have enough room, we would maybe have a next to have more on there potentially. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. But one I could think about is the linen request. Now this is pretty straightforward, but at the same time, let's say that we wanted to I don't want to say dumb it down some, but if we wanted to make it a little bit easier for some reason, then yeah, if we were gonna make it easier and we'd have one page, choose your house, hit next, choose room number, hit next, choose amount of guests, hit next, and then choose what type. Just something to consider. I don't know if I like this personally. This is easy to me, but we have to think about the user who's going to be using it as well. So that's something that we can consider. So think about that. So maybe in your initial design, before you talk to Professor Vortman and his class, maybe for our class, we can probably go with this without the navigation controller. We could just have these four guys and not have this linked together. But I want to show you how this works first as well. So I think it's important to have this in place so that you have an understanding of what it does and what it doesn't do. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. So let's go ahead and create a button here real quick. So let's go down and hit stop real quick, and let's see button. Okay, come up here, type in button, and let's drag this button down here. Perfect. Let's move this guy over here a little bit. Perfect. And let's increase the font. Perfect. Let's change the color to something that I can see. White. Let's do with alright, sorry. Down there. What am I looking for? I don't know. Let's do this right here. Let's oops, not that. Let me oh my gosh. Let's build a constraint on it. There we go. We need to do here is in order for us to have another one, well, let's change the name button to something else. So let's say next, for example, and let's create a new view controller real quick. Maybe I can type. All right, I can't type, guys. All right, there we go. All right, so add another controller here, and we'll add a different background color. We have a lot of colors. Let's do something custom. There we go. I like that color. That was actually when I owned a business called Easy Solutions. That was my colors. This orange and that green. All right, so now we need to connect these. This is going to be a different connection. So when I come down here, instead of doing view controller, we want to do show because we want it to go to the next page. So we'll do a show. Links it because right there it builds the back navigation menu for you automatically. Alright, so this is something that didn't work in our video, so let's, before we add anything to it, let's run it real quick, see if it works. Alright, item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, next. Alright, so this is the problem, didn't work on our last time, it's still not working. What did I do? So let me figure out what we have to do here, and we'll get it to work. I just realized what I did wrong. So I had you guys, when we created the navigation controller, I had you think about what I did here. I had you connect this to this, and that's not going to work. We have to connect the button to the page, or the button will not work. So control over here, show, this should fix the problem, because this is the action event. I was saying that the page is the action event, and it doesn't really work. So let's go to that last one. Next, look at that. Boom, next. Look at that. Perfect. Sweet. All right, guys. All right, so now we need to create icons. So let me find Emily's pictures because I changed the sizes of them. And at least I think I did. Let's double check. No, I didn't. It was the other one I did, so that's fine. Let's resize these real quick. Let me remember how to resize for a second here. All right, I am forgetting how to resize. All right, having a brain freeze here. Just size, that might work. All right, so let's do 24 by 24. And let's do just size. Perfect. Now I've noticed that the PNGs work fine in here, but for some reason in Android, SVG or SGV, whatever, I don't even know what SVG, I think it is, works better. Perfect. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let me copy those guys over real quick under assets here. So I'm gonna throw it under here. So I'm going to grab all those guys. I'm gonna copy them. Copy 5 items. Paste here. Maybe. You could add the app icon here. All right, so it's not gonna be paste. I'm just gonna have to drag it over here. All right, throws it up here. Now, when we have our app icon, we could just throw it right here. So for S and Giggles, I'm actually gonna make that home one the app one for now. So I'm gonna make it the app icon for now. Oops, all right, it's playing games with me. So let's do this. All right, so it's, oh, I have to, okay, so duh. So as you see here, I forgot, you have to make, when you do the app, you have to do the certain sizes. So we would have to go in here and do a 40 by 40, a 60 by 60, a 58, and so forth. So it fits all these, so like iPad. So these will be things that you'll have to change as well. So you'll have to make something work for, the only thing that we'll need is from here on way up. So that'll be a nice task that'll have to be done at some point. Not too important at the moment, but for now, that's fine. So I'll create one for, let me find one of her other ones I have here. I could do, find a home one real quick. Yep, that one right there. So I can adjust this one real quick. Let's say for the Apple icon, we'll say iOS 7 through 13, geez, all of them. Let's say, okay, for iPhone, let's do 58, 87 at least. Let's do that. So let's do this. Tools, adjust size. I'll say 87 by 87, I think it was. Okay. All right, let's not scale it. One second, why is it playing games with me? All right, there we go. Pixels we want. All right, so let's save this as, but I want to change that name. Did I save that one? All right, I'll come back 1 second. I called it home icon 87 by 87. So let's see if I can move that over into, where did I see that? Oh, right here. Perfect. I could probably move it in this one too, even though it's 58 by 58, but it'll pull it up. All right, cool. So I have a little icon there. Awesome. All right, getting back to what we're trying to accomplish is we need to get back to our storyboard, not bird. And we need to create icons and notifications and all that awesome stuff. So I think this one right here will be the third one over, but I think that's where we're going to do our home button. But I'm just going to create stuff and you guys could play with it. But let me find her design real quick. I lost it. All right, so she had linens first. I want to set this up so it looks what we talked about real quick. So in this case right here, oops. We got linens. All right, so item number 1, linens, and then we need an image and linens. All right, so linens fit better. It doesn't go off the screen like we had before. Next one was notifications, so we click on here, and excuse me. All right, so we have to go over here. Sorry, guys. Item number 2. Notifications. I spell right. Yep. And right there. Perfect. Number 3, I believe, was the home button. So we'll say this is going to be our home button. Doesn't matter where it's at on the screen here. So right here. And we will say home. And we'll put home. Perfect. Our 4th button is right here. Well, let's see, do we have another one over here? No. For time being, our 4th button is there. So let's see here. Remember, we might want to set. Oh, actually, our 4th button is right here. So right here is what's our 4th button? It is our FAQ. Perfect. And there you go. And then our last button is our scheduling. And in our case, what I want you guys to do is put another view controller down here, unless we redesign stuff here. But we want to get this right. Is this guy right here? Where is he at? Oh, this one down here. So last one is schedule. And then we choose image, like that. Perfect. Let's hit run and see what happens. All right, something blew up. I didn't like something. The stickers icon set for app icon did not applicable. All right, so let's go up here. It might have been this one I didn't like. So let's take that out and see if that fixed it. All right, it didn't like mine either. So we're gonna come back to that one. We'll fix that. I'm not too concerned about that right now. All right, so as you see here, look at this. Our icons look awesome. Look at that. Blue, green. Now we'll want to change these colors like we talked about before. But for a time being, doesn't look too bad, kids. All right, moving on to the next tab. We got that up and running. So now let's go ahead and create the last part. Let's try to take our storyboard and highlight our things. So like this, if we want to highlight it to something else, might have to do a little research on what color you want to choose. So I'll let you guys figure that out because I pretty much did the rest to give you guys an example. So with the var window, call it UI window. So what we're doing here is, I already declare. So we're declaring a window, declaring a variable in Swift. So you do var window, and you do colon, and you do UI window, and you do a question mark after it. So right there, we just declared a variable called UI window. Okay. So next step we have is we have this var application, UI application area, blah, 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 with the Boolean right here. So going to hide this right here, or delete it. And then what I'm gonna type in here is I'm gonna call it UI tab bar, because That's the name of our application that we're using. The tab bar is the object. And we're going to do dot appearance. So appearance is how we want it to view. Dot. We're going to do tint color real quick. I'm going to do that one first. And then you put equals what color. So you could use any of these UI colors down here. You can use your own. You can figure out what the. You could do the HTML color as well. That's what we want. I'm just going to go with yellow for now. If there is a yellow here. Yeah, let's just go with yellow. Perfect. And let's run it and just see what happens. I know that's like a goldish color, so I think we could do what is needed here. But all right, so that yellow looks like, you know what? I'm not gonna say it, but you know what it looks like. Now, it would look better if we did this here, but here I'm gonna show you something else that you can do. So you could do the tab bar, dot appearance, and then dot, instead of tint color, you could do bar tint color. I think that's what it is, hold on. Tint, it's, oh, I could be wrong. Oops. There we go. Bar tint color will change the whole bar color of it. Let's see what that looks like. But I think, yeah, see what it does down here. It makes it look like part of the app. But our design is like this, which has the white, which is fine. Then we would want to, I guess we could do this here, which I think that's all default though, but let's just see. It's not default. So it makes it white, but we want to find whatever that HTML color is, and you want to put that there because yellow does not look good at all. It looks like crap. I don't know if gold's on there or not. Yeah, see, it doesn't know what that is. So I don't know the HTML color offhand, but I think you could put the HTML color out here as well. Let's play around with this a little bit. So there's going to be something else that we have to do in order to use, because this is just system color right here. For time being, I'm just going to change it to something else, but we'll have to figure out a different way to put our customized color in there. So we'll probably have to write a function to do that. It looks like, I don't know what system yellow looks like. It's probably crap as well. Let's see if it's any better than what we had. Yeah, system yellow looks a lot better. It looks clear. But if there's a specific color, we'll have to figure out what that is, and because it doesn't look exactly the same way, but we'll want to potentially change that to the color. So I think we'll have to write some type of function right here to allow us to do that, and we'll have to probably use RGB is what I was using. But for the most part, this will help us get everything that we want set up. All we want to do is get this set up, and later on, going into next week, you guys will actually start building your environment. We'll talk about design, and that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Bye.